All right. Can you just give a brief introduction about yourself and what sort of music you make?
Yeah, my name is Ole, I'm from Norway. My background is with like punk, emo, post-hardcore, screamo, stuff like that. But now I've delved more into like hyperpop, alt-pop, stuff that's like hip-hop inspired. And I think like I'm mixing a bunch of like genres I love together into one. And I think like mixing genres is how you get the best music.
What do you think people are going to get out of this album?
I hope they'll find like a unique listening experience, right? Like, you know, all of the genres I touch in on are like popular and people listen to them, but maybe like the combination of them is something unique. And also hopefully people can like relate to the lyrics and find like the openness and authenticity like refreshing and relatable.
How do you think your emotions played part in the production of the album? And if it did, what were some of these moments?
I think it played a huge part because it's recorded at home, like just right here. So whenever I felt something, I could just go to my laptop, find a microphone and record and write. I guess the funny thing is like the sad emotions didn't inspire a sad song. But then there's songs that are just sad, like the ending track, Big Fucking Failure, which is kind of like a letter to a young me, basically being like, oh, am I a failure? Am I not a failure? Does it matter? What does it mean to be a failure? So yeah, it's a very emotional album, but both happy and sad.
Yeah, you mentioned this a bit, like diversity in some of the genres that you're putting together and also in this emotions. Could you speak a little bit more on the diversity that you see in this album?
I think it's really important nowadays, like especially since I feel like people's attention span is shorter. So just having a one-note album that's just sad, for example, could have worked 20 years ago, but it doesn't work anymore. And like just one genre, that doesn't work either. It's not something I would listen to either, so it's natural that I would make something that's, you know, both happy and sad and both angry and heavy but also slow and calm, and also a lot of time multiple of these things in the same tracks. I think it's cool that like you have to think about how a song makes you feel, like the song isn't telling you how to feel.
And to touch back on some of like the themes of failure and attempting to make it, I've noticed this is one major overarching theme in the album. And I was wanting to know your personal experience with failure and also what does it mean to you to make it?
Yeah, I think like it's complicated because as a kid, I was really obsessed with making it. Like, I would read about my idols. For example, as a kid, I was really into Sum 41, and they signed to a major label when they were like 17 or something. So I set that as like an arbitrary goal. But the goalpost would move all the time. Obviously, like when I turned 17, I was like, yeah, I don't have radio hits. What's the next goal? And you can see like someone like Kurt Cobain, for example. I think he made it when he was like 22, 23, like that was the next goalpost, and it just keeps moving. And I think like I eventually realized, or maybe I knew it all along, that like success and failure isn't about like the money you gain or the streaming numbers or whatever. And that's an important part of the album, that like success is just making art you love and just finishing something, because a lot of people don't even finish things they start.